I'm gonna take a moment to acknowledge everybody that's here in the chat. I want to welcome
Yeah, go
you
for it.
over. Welcome everybody here
Absolutely.
on the Experience. For those of
Yes.
you who are just joining in, or if you've been here, please forgive me. I'm not ignoring you. I do see the chat, but I'm really wanting this conversation to be as organic as possible.
Yes.
Um, we will be answering questions near the end. And
Mhm.
when that will be, I have no idea because me and this guy right here, we can talk for a really
Hours.
long time.
Yeah.
Um, I want to thank everybody who's here right now. And if you haven't retweeted the stream, please be sure to do so on Twitter or host up if you're available to do that as well. We would like to reach as many people as we possibly can with these conversations in which we're having.
Yes. Absolutely.
Um, okay, Bear. So again, once again, you've opened up a whole other can of worms with
Mhm.
the subject of discrimination. When you say
A
that your go ahead.
and before I do see I do see one person,
Go ahead.
O Omega, don't feel out of place. Um, don't, because as you stated, you were raised to see people, not colors. So don't feel out of place, man. If you've seen this type of injustice, you have a voice just as much as I do. So please don't feel out of place.
Yeah, I wish that people could just look past
Yeah,
skin pigments and look into
me
the
too.
heart,
Me
honestly,
too.
because we're flesh and blood, but this is not who we are. It's the
No.
soul, it's the heart, it's the personality. But yet we live in such a tainted society that judges individuals based on how they look, their
Yep.
skin texture, their eye color, the texture of their hair, and the list just goes on and on and on. Which brings me to the subject of discrimination. Of course,
Yes.
we touched on this a little bit a couple of days ago, but I was like, let's try to save it for the um the stream here. Um, when you said that sometimes it's your own people that want to see you fail or want to trip you up or want to see you not succeed, you that's not the no lies are detected because it's absolutely true. Not all the time, but I can tell you from experience
Same
that
here.
throughout my entire life, it has always been I'll go ahead and say it. It has always been, white people who have treated me with the most love, the most respect, most compassion, and it's been, my own people who have given me the most trouble. Fights, bullying, giving me a hard time just because of how I look. Oh, look at you. You're not dark enough. I'll tell you
Right.
one of the worst things that somebody said to me was, the only reason that you look like that is because your ancestors were raped by slave owners. Oh, look at that.
um.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of the worst things that somebody ever said to me. To say that the only reason you look like that is because your ancestors were raped by slave owners. When in fact, my ancestors were not slaves.
Right.
My ancestors come from Germany,
Mm.
and no, they were never slaves. But to be ignorant and to say something like that, it's just so hateful. I'm like, I don't, what in the world would possess you to even insinuate something like that? Why would you say that? Once again, the discrimination is ridiculous.
It is.
And I love my people. I do. I love everybody. Whether you white, whether you're Asian, whether you black. I'm a very universal person. Again, I don't look at the skin color. I look at what's Martin Luther King. Don't judge a person, you know, based on how they
By the
look, but
color of
judge
their
them.
skin, but by the content of their character.
Yes. I
Yeah.
treat you how you treat me. I don't care how you look. That's
No.
how I feel. I don't care how you look. Don't care where you're from. I don't care how you look. It's all on how you and how you treat other people as well.
Um, I mean, I'm gonna say it. Um, because I'm not pulling any punches neither. Um, my own people put a blade in my shoulder for my tennis shoes. I took a blade here for my tennis shoes. Um, so I mean that was just that was like a very hard that was a very hard lesson to learn. Um, because I would think, man, I'm thinking, these are my people. We're supposed to have each other's back, and you would kill me
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
shoes, dude. If
Jordans.
that's take them, they're not worth my life. But really, you're willing to take from someone who has because you haven't done anything to become someone who has. Who you're a have not. So because you don't have, you'd rather take from someone who earned it. That will never sit right with me ever.
Did you hear about the news story? It was a couple of years ago about this kid who broke into this woman's house stealing. I forgot what he stole, but he was stealing, and the owner of the house shot him with a shotgun. And I did he die? I don't think. I think he died. I don't know if he died or not. I know I can't remember. But what what made me feel some type of way was this: the sister of the boy was interviewed and said he didn't have to shoot him. How else is he supposed to get money for clothes for school? How else is he supposed to eat? So I'm like,
Stealing
so
is the
so
right way to do it.
so what kind of culture advocates you stealing as justification just so that you can put food on the table or just so that you can get clothes? What are you teaching your kids? That you want your child to die? Go ahead and teach them that kind of stuff because that's exactly what happened.
Yes. What movie was that?
South
Oh,
Central.
it was yes. Jimmy
South
took the
Central.
wrong radio.
Mm-hmm.
Took the wrong radio. Look what happened.
Bam.
Shot.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Anytime there's something on my mind, I'm like, do I want to talk about this or not? But since you brought up South Central, the 90s was a time period of movies like that.
Yes.
Boys in the Hood, South Central, Don't Be a Menace,
Yeah.
Dead Presidents,
Juice.
Juice, Set It Off. What kind of messages do you believe that these producers were trying to send to the world? Friday, yeah.
Um, I know with me, I Juice had a very profound effect on me. Uh, just like watching Bishop get like bullied by Radamez and Raheem being the leader, still being kind of like the neutral guy, and um Omar Epps' character being like the smooth guy that just don't want to deal with none of that.
Right.
Um Even when I first saw the movie, I always felt like Bishop was gonna be the one to turn. Because like you said, it started at home.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
I think his dad was like into drugs. So he wasn't even paying attention to Bishop. It
Hmm.
started there. He didn't get love from home. So he turned to the streets. And then you find out the streets don't love you as much as you love them.
Right.
So yeah, I mean it was a lot of different messages. Boys in the Hood, Ricky, Doughboy. I mean, Ricky had everything going for him, and because of all the nonsense that happened in the street, Ricky ended up being a casualty of war, in a sense.
Hmm.
And he had everything lined up for him.
Yeah.
It's yeah,
That reminded me of something that happened here locally a couple of months ago. There was a kid who graduated and went to college in Atlanta.
mm,
Came back to visit his family for the 4th of July,
what?
and the same day that he got back, he got killed. And I was like, how did this happen? So
Right.
the story is some boys a guy that he used to roll with. Yeah. I'm like, dude, let me tell you
See,
something. First of all, I don't know if anybody here has ever grew up like in poverty or the hood, as they say. But if you get the opportunity to get away, you don't go back. You don't. So he did. Justification was, yo, this is my boy, and I'm going to link up with him for the 4th. He picks him up. They're riding. Car pulls up, lights it up, kills the kid that came in town from Atlanta, but the one that they were after didn't die.
survived.
Yeah, he survived. So the backstory is that his friend robbed some guys who robbed him from a dice game and took off
Mhm.
with the money. So they went looking for him. It was yeah,
So you survived, and knowing you got your friend killed because you decided you couldn't be upfront with your friend, nah, man, and not even put him in that position. If that's your friend, you would never put your friend in danger.
right.
Friends don't put friends in dangerous situations.
Yeah,
They don't.
but he wasn't thinking.
No,
That's not a friend.
no.
You know that's this is exactly why I'm so careful about who I allow into my life and my circle because I don't know your past. I don't know what you've been through. Um, it's just sad that that happened because it really shook the whole city.
Yeah,
It shook the whole city. I saw the guy's parents, and the bad thing about it is that the dad he prided himself on doing everything he possibly could do to keep his son from, like you said, going through what he went through. And he did everything correctly, only for him to come back and to
that
die.
that one fatal, that one little hint of oversight
Yes.
cost him so much more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. I look at that as there's a term. I'm not saying I made this term up, but the term came to my mind of the external influence of people.
Yeah, yeah.
You as a parent, we all hear it, right? If
Mhm.
you can raise your children perfectly, both mom and dad in the house, careers, successful, living in the suburbs, doing everything correctly, got your child in private school, you can be doing everything the right way. But that does not promise that your child is going to be perfect. We see it all the time. Things happen.
It is an enormous world out here. Not only that, you can't keep you can't keep your kids sheltered
No,
forever
no.
because eventually they're going to rebel and they're going to get out and they're going to find out this this insane world that we live in. And yeah, all it takes is for the wrong force to corrupt them. You can always control yourself. You can't control everybody else. You can't.
No, you can't. And that's why when people say, "Well, what went wrong?" I'm like, "Well, what really went wrong was the external influence of others."
Yes. Yes,
You're right. You can't shelter your children. That's a bad thing. I've seen that blow up in a very bad way.
yes,
Um,
me too.
you you really you don't none of us want our children to fail in life. None of us want our kids to get in trouble, but even animals understand that, hey, um, you're gonna have to fend for yourself one day. So get out there and go hunt. Or like the birds, they'll try to they'll make the baby birds to try to fly on their own. Mama's gonna sit back and let them struggle. Animals do that.
Yeah.
So there's no sheltering
Hmm.
at all.
None.
Um,